A globe completely engulfed in flames.
Ooh.
You want your logo to signify the end of the world.
No. It's like we're driven. Like we're taking over the world.
Like we're spreading like wildfire, but in an elegant way. I mean, understated. It should communicate integrity, honesty, classiness.
A love for the community.
A love for the whole world, really.
Humble.
But not too humble. I want to exude pride, like humble pride.
A bald eagle wrapped in an American flag, in his talon, a stack of $100 bills.
We're financially successful and patriotic.
Something like this?
That's incredible.
That is amazing. With a logo like that, we're gonna sell a lot of beard combs.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. In a world filled with endless opportunities, why would two men who have built 13 multi-million-dollar businesses altruistically invest 5 hours per day to teach you the best practice business systems and moves that you can use? Because they believe in you, and they have a lot of time on their hands. They started from the bottom, now they're here. It's the Thrive Time Show, starring the former U.S. Small Business Administration's Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark, and the entrepreneur trapped inside an optometrist's body, Dr. Robert Zillner. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses.
We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here.
Started from the bottom, and now we're at the top, teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. The seeds bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of 5, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the CNC up on your radio, and now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here.
All right, Thrive Nation, on today's show, we're going to talk about 2 big ideas, and hopefully this resonates with everybody out there. Hopefully this connects. It's why we have to actually sell something. At some point, we have to actually sell something. I think a lot of wonderful entrepreneurs I meet, they'll tell me about their logo and their brand and the market cap for the industry they're excited about and the potential investors they may bring in and their pitch deck and their logo and their swag and their new idea they have for their new app and their new product and new concept. But at the end of the day, you have to actually sell something. And I just think that a lot of people get obsessed with logos and pitch decks and org charts and mission statements. But at the end of the day, you have to actually sell something. Here to talk about it is Peter Taunton, the founder of Snap Fitness Nautical Bowls, 9 Round Boxing, and other brands that you know. Peter Taunton, welcome on to the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
Good, Plague. Thanks, man. Always good to be back. Happy Monday.
Brother, you've been around some wonderful entrepreneurs throughout your career, and you've also met some entrepreneurs that haven't sold anything. They've spent a couple $100,000 and they're still talking about their logo. Walk us through sort of those predictable pitfalls where entrepreneurs could get stuck in if they're not focused on actually selling something.
Look, an early mistake that I see a lot of entrepreneurs make is they don't do enough preparation, meaning early on prep on validation of the product. So I understand that you got to create a marketing plan around something in order to see if the dogs will eat the dog food, to see if it will sell. As you said earlier, everyone's trying to sell something. However, there's a step before that because sometimes there could be some glaring components to your product that you're trying to take to market that you're not seeing because sometimes the old cliche, you can't see the trees through the forest and look, or the forest through the trees, something to that effect. Anyway, the punchline here is there's a lot of times that people get into a product and they get so far down the path and they spend money that doesn't need to be spent. Why? Because the product is either A, it's not ready to go to market, or B, it's not viable in the first place. Look, making money is very, very hard. That's why I always tell people proceed with caution. Getting into business, spend those early dollars very cautionary. Okay, very discretional spend is very, very important, especially if you're bootstrapping a company.
So let's talk about the things you shouldn't waste your time on if you're bootstrapping a company. Let's think about the things, because again, at Nautical Bowls, if somebody buys a franchise from you, you've already thought about the things they need to focus on. You've already thought about those key revenue producing activities. What are some of the activities that people, if they've gone to too much business school and perhaps they have too many degrees, by default, they may spend their day and time focusing on that really are not their highest and best use?
I think it starts keeping with your theme of Nautical Bowls. I started with the relevance of the product. Plant-based, dairy-free, gluten-free, soy-free, made with organic or all natural ingredients. So look, just if I take that and put it in a box, fundamentally, the general population out there would not argue with you that that's probably a pretty good idea. Those are probably some pretty good components on nutritional fuel that I should be looking at taking in. So the first part of it is relevance. The second part of it is, how do I package it? How do I package that to the marketplace? And just having some people, we talk about this all the time, Clay, about who do you surround yourself with? But having a small group of people around you who you trust, that are truly going to be your advisor and are not going to sit and try to blow sunshine at you all day long. They're going to be a tough critic, but they've got some critical and practical experience. So for me, first of all, look at the relevance of the product. Secondly, is there anything that I could do within that relevance that is going to make it even more appealing? Or is there something within what I'm doing that I should take away because I'm trying to put 8 pounds of potatoes in a 5-pound bag? Okay. Sometimes people get guilty of that. They get so granular in what they're trying to pitch to someone. First thing you got to do is get their attention, and get their attention fast. So you've got limited time, hit them with the meat, and then build from there.
Now, as it relates to growing a company, what I do is I have a chart in my office that I'm always looking at, and I'm not saying these are the only 14 aspects of a business to look at, but this is from my newest book. It's on page 4 of my newest book, or page 5 of my newest book here, called A Millionaire's Guide: How to Become Sustainably Rich. But I pretty much put the diagram in all my books here. But box one, you just got to know your revenue goals. So if somebody buys a Nautical Bowls franchise, and again, you're a franchise, therefore you have a franchise disclosure document. Thus, we can't hop on a program like this and claim that if somebody buys a Nautical Bowls franchise, they're going to make X amount of dollars per year. We can let people know about the costs, but we can't make an expectation of how much profit they're going to make. But why is that important for every business owner to clearly have in their mind their yearly and then their weekly revenue goals? Why is that so important?
Well, I think revenue goals, just financial goals in general, it's going to boil down to, what is my income going to be? What's my household income? What do I need to have to survive? I mean, look, I equate it when I was a kid. When I was about 12 years old, I wanted to be a game warden. I loved the outdoors. I loved everything about it. It wasn't until I realized that they didn't make any money. I mean, back then, this is a long time ago. I mean, literally over 50 years ago. And these game wardens were making less than $20,000 a year. And I said, and I looked at that and I said, it may be great, but I'm going to be broke my whole life. So I quickly pivoted. So I think it's important. Understand what do you need to drive. And then when you're looking at a business, even like a business like Nautical Bowls, you need to look at, in an item 19, you're exactly right, Clay. You cannot sit and talk about what you're going to make in a business, because any business comes with risk. But in our item 19, we talk about the stores within our system who have been open for at least a year. Here's how they perform. And, we typically divide them into 3 categories. Here's the risk that a lot of people make. They immediately put themselves in the top tier. Okay. Here's the problem. You can't put yourself in the top tier and then put in the effort of the bottom tier. It doesn't work that way. Okay. So, and we stress that with people. Hey, look, this is a business. This is risk. This is hard work. This is not a laundromat business or a gumball business where you go in once a week, empty the till, go back to fishing and golfing. Being an entrepreneur means you have to commit yourself to what you're doing. And when you do that, there's nothing more rewarding than being an entrepreneur or the owner of a thriving business. There's nothing more rewarding than that.
So you go to box 2, you got to know your break-even numbers. And again, this is the kind of thing in the item 19. If somebody wants to buy a franchise, what's an item 19? Well, folks, there's a franchise disclosure document, and this is a document that before you buy a franchise or is required to provide this to you before you're allowed to buy a franchise. And in there, the item 19 is a documentation of all of the numbers. Now, again, the past performance of other locations is certainly no predictor of the future performance of your business, but it is a disclaimer or a statement of the factual financial performance of franchisees. And I just don't think a lot of people think about breaking even. So, I have a haircut chain called the Elephant in the Room. We cut hair. We have 5 stores. And just to be very blunt for everybody out there, it takes us, this might sound shocking for everybody out there, it takes us about 60% of the month to break even. So it takes me about 60% of the month of cutting haircuts to break even. Then that last 40% of the month, that's where we are profitable. Somebody might disagree with the math, but that's just a factual reality of our haircut business. It's a membership model haircut business. It does very well, but we really don't make any money until we're over half of the way through the month because of the overhead, the costs, the utilities, insurance, labor, marketing, etc. Why is it important for every one of your Nautical Bulls owners to know that break-even point?
Well, in our item 19, the item 19, our operating expenses are reflective of what we see across the system within our stores. All right. And we build it in such a way where a franchisee can look at it. If their rent is less than the number that we have reflected in item 19, that falls to the more favorable column of the business owner because their operating expenses are going to be less. Conversely, if their rent is twice of what we have reflected in there, that's probably not going to be an ideal location because I don't ever like to put somebody in a situation where the rent is double or triple of what the model shows for, which puts them in a place where they've got to be in that top 20% in order to make any money. At the end of the day, I want every one of my franchisees to make money. So the goal is put them in a great location with the right inline operating expenses. And then we teach them the secret sauce of what they need to do to drive their business, which takes effort. But, at the end of the day, that's where we focus our efforts. Great location, sign a great lease with a great product that's relevant, and then teach them how to fish, teach them how to go out into their market and how to serve their community. That's the key.
Now, when you look at this workflow that I've developed, folks, why I have this workflow in my office is it allows me to clearly see all the aspects of the business that matter to me. And I can ask myself each week, what is the biggest limiting factor for my companies or the clients that I work with? Now, this idea of defining the number of hours that you're willing to work, this is big. And I'm not telling people out there that my schedule is the perfect schedule. I'm just telling people what my schedule is. So with my schedule, I have a schedule that I block out every week. I'll pull it up so people can judge me and they can say, you're a horrible person. You're not life balanced. That's fine. But what I do with my schedule is this is my schedule. It's not theoretically my schedule. And I block out my schedule. And you'll notice here, folks, at 6:30, taking my daughter on a date tonight because it's in my schedule. It doesn't mean that I'm the world's best dad or the world's worst dad. That's just a factual reality of what I'm doing. 6 o'clock every Tuesday, we do family night. My mom, my mother-in-law, they all gather. That's in the schedule. Wednesday night, you can see here, folks, I'm conducting a staff meeting. My last interaction at the office is at 6:30. Thursday, we have a church that operates in our building every single Thursday. Friday night, we do kind of a family night again. But I have it blocked out, and my schedule is blocked out, and therefore that which is in my schedule gets done, and what is not scheduled doesn't get done. And I find that a lot of entrepreneurs, they buy a franchise, they start a company, and they never think about their schedule. And therefore, their schedule just sort of becomes a drifting dystopia of perpetual overwhelm. And then they want to look at the numbers, but they run out of time. They want to work out, but they run out of time. They want to take their wife on a date, but they run out of time. I'd love for you to talk about the importance of establishing boundaries within your life to build a successful company and a successful life.
Yeah, look, I'm a big advocate of balance. And I think a lot of times we all know sometimes things come out of balance, but being cognizant of what out of balance looks and feels like. You have time with your family, your friends, your faith, your business, time for yourself. all of these things are a component to a balanced life. I tell you what, a lot of times early entrepreneurs, call it naive, they talk or they visually see other entrepreneurs that are running a successful business. And they say, I want to be that person, because it looks like that person has a lot of free time. They're golfing one day a week. They're with their buddies. They got time with their family. They just got this perfect balanced life. And I tell them, look, what you're witnessing there is the fruits of their effort early on. So understand that. Occasionally, of course, some people get lucky and they have lightning in a bottle and they just ride it. That's great. But don't get into business thinking that it's going to be easy street. I always say go into business thinking that, look, this is 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And I say that figuratively because I don't want people to cower when things get difficult. I want them to be cognizant of what a balanced life looks like. I want them to visually see it. If they got to draw it out on what their balance, what makes things matter. But obviously, you know, your family, your friends, your faith, your business, and time for yourself. You gotta touch them all. So that's what I try to stress with people. I try to prepare them for battle. This is what being an entrepreneur can look and feel like. And don't worry about upgrading your home, your vacations, your cars. Don't worry about that stuff. Those are high-class problems. That's the fruits of your hard work and effort and success. So I try to keep it real for people.
And again, if you're buying a Nautical Bowls franchise, not only are you buying a franchise, but you're buying access to a proven system and the mentorship that goes with that. Now we look on here, box number 4. Most entrepreneurs have to sit down and figure out their unique value proposition. What is it that you're going to do that stands out in the marketplace? And so I'm just going to fire off a couple examples real quick, folks, and then we'll talk about Nautical Bowls. So one of my brands is called Elephant in the Room. We're a haircut chain. We cut hair for men. And it's a membership model. And someone says, well, why is it a membership model? Well, it's a membership model because, our stylists, Peter, they never get busy and they never get slow because they're pre-booked. Every haircut is pre-booked. Now, the downside of opening up an Elephant in the Room, and that's why I'm not trying to actively sell franchises, is they are very expensive to open. So when you open up these locations and you look at them and you look at the build out, people always compliment. They say, man, the build outs are great. They cost a lot of money. I mean, you're going to drop $350,000 to open one of these things. And then you have to have all licensed professionals to cut the hair. Whereas you look at a Nautical Bowls, you don't have to be licensed to serve Nautical Bowls. So in our business, we do this great build out, but now we don't get to hire from the general population. We have to go out there and hire licensed professionals. So it's very expensive to get going. So most people in the hair business struggle for a long time to find a team of licensed professionals. Now, we've built this over the past 14 years, and it's a very successful business model. But what makes our model unique? Well, the first haircut's $1. What makes it unique? It's a membership model. So your next haircut is always at a discounted price. What makes it unique? As a member, you're one of the 4,000 people per year that has a chance to win a dream vacation to Hawaii. What makes it unique? It's a high-end men's grooming experience. What makes it unique? A lot of people really just enjoy coming to a place that's man-focused. When people look inside the stores, they look at the Google Maps, they look inside and they go, okay, this is the kind of place that I would want to go to get my hair cut. They love the sights, the sounds, the smells. But again, I'm just telling you the drawbacks, folks, and why I really don't spend a lot of my time focused on opening any other locations beyond that which I already own. It's because you have to have licensed professionals that work there, and that's significantly more difficult to staff than when you have a business like Nautical Bowls, where they do a great build out and they have a great on niche, on trend product like Nautical Bowls has. But you guys at Nautical Bowls, Peter, you don't have to staff licensed professionals. I'd love for you to talk about why that is so critical to the growth of Nautical Bowls, because again, I don't think a lot of people see how your business model's been designed to make it easy to staff right out the gate.
Yeah, look, we look for simplicity, and I think any great franchise, you look to dummy it down, and that's what we've been successful at doing. There's only one full-time employee, 10 to 12 part-timers. It's not a technical business. So for us, we have a product that's relevant, number one. Number two, we have a product that's very easy to run. Even if you choose to be an owner-operator, It's an easy business. So it's relevant, easy business to operate, not a lot of employees. So where are we focused? We're focused on locations with high foot traffic. We know that if we drop our product in an area where we have high foot traffic, the chances or the probability of that business being successful are greatly enhanced. Okay. Without foot traffic, it's very difficult to build a business. I would never go into a place where I'm trying to build my business purely on third-party delivery or purely catering. To me, I got to have all fun. I want high foot traffic. I want the third-party deliveries, the Uber Eats, DoorDashes, Grubhub of the world. And then the other part of it is I teach my managers and my owners, look, you got to get outside your doors. You got to bring your product to the people. Farmers markets, youth sports, high school, college football games. I mean, when we get franchisees that are doing that, they're truly running their business. When we see them doing those things, we see wonderful things happen. We see their businesses grow up and to the right.
Final thing I wanted to ask you today, and again, you're such a wealth of knowledge and wisdom, and I can't wait to see you at our 2-day interactive business workshop here, featuring Tim Tebow, Colton Dixon, Michael Levine, Esther Federkevich, yourself, John Lee Dumas, Jill Donovan. It's Mondo de la Vega. It's going to be a great event in Tulsa. But you mentioned to me on an interview last week that as you were growing Snap Fitness, it was X number of years before you began franchising. How many years did it take you? Or how many years had you invested in growing Snap Fitness, and how many locations did you have open before you began the process of franchising?
Well, I'd been in the fitness space for honestly 20 years, Clay, before I decided to get into franchising. So I'd done it 20 years, and that's where I cut my teeth within the fitness space. And that's where I designed Snap Fitness, which was a watered down version of a full service health club. My thought was, will the dogs eat the dog food if I don't give them childcare, climbing walls, and swimming pools? That was my bet. And my bet was right. Instead, I gave them an affordable concept that was open 24 hours a day, no contract. You belong to one, you belong to them all. So I positioned myself in a marketplace that was highly desirable by the consumer. And I removed the resistance. I removed any apprehension as to why would they join. So when I started the concept, look, I built three corporate stores in 3 different size markets. Why? Because I wanted to know how the business would perform in each of these type market settings. They performed fantastic in all 3 markets. And from there, the rest is history. I knew I wasn't going to have any limitations. The smallest market I went into was a population of 3,500, all the way up to full-blown urban markets. And that's why it comes as no surprise. We went from 0 to over 1,000 locations in 5-6 years. It was unbelievable growth. And it's still one of the largest wellness brands in the world. But it was preparation and timing and execution. Period.
Also, I'll say this too. When you had those corporate locations, you owned them all. You had to be responsible for all of them. I mean, you were managing that staff. How many people were you managing with your own corporate stores before you started franchising? Because that's got to be a nightmare at a certain point when you have a certain number of corporate stores. How many people approximately were you managing before you decided to move into the
that was the beautiful part about Snap Fitness. You know what? You only had in each location, you had maybe 2 to 3 employees, very few. All right. So with 3 corporate stores, and it was a very simple business to run because we were focused on, obviously, you walked into the club, it had to be clean. The equipment needed to be in great working order. So then from there, I just focused on the guest experience, greeting them when they come in, making them feel loved and appreciated. So that side of it was pretty easy if you can hire the right personality. I was focused on building the infrastructure necessary to roll out a franchise concept. And that's what I was very, very successful at doing, creating the infrastructure to grow at a brisk pace.
You've really, really dialed it down. You've really nailed it. You've massaged it. You've beveled it, whatever you want to say. You've carved out an understanding of how franchises work and how they scale. And I just love that. In fact, you've even thought about the financing of it. A lot of times people go in to buy a car and they don't even think about it. But somebody who owns that car dealership had to think about setting up the financing. If you go out there and buy a Suburban today, or you buy a truck, or you buy some sort of family minivan, most people get financing that's offered by the dealership right there on site. You've done the same thing for nautical bowls to make it affordable for virtually anybody that wants to own one. But at the end of the day, how much money does somebody have to show up with to really get into the conversation or to be eligible to buy a nautical bowls franchise there, sir?
So look, in the big picture, it's an affordable franchise, meaning you have to come to the party with $100,000 cash. And here's the criteria to meet our financing qualification. You need $100,000 cash liquid. You need a FICO score of 750 or higher and a net worth of 250,000 or more. If you can check those boxes, then you qualify. Now, if you can't check those boxes, don't be discouraged. Find a partner. If collectively you can both do that, if collectively the 2 or 3 of you can come to the party with 100,000, and between collectively the 3 of you have got a net worth of 250,000 or more, you can qualify for our financing, which will get you into business. And we're doing a lot of great things now too, Clay, to even drive down that cost, the cost to get into this business, because we've evolved the business to realize our footprint doesn't need to be as big. Now we have a smaller footprint. It has not affected the throughput of the product, meaning I can generate as much product volume out of a 600 square foot store as I can a 1,500 square foot store. Guest experience hasn't been compromised, but we've been able to lower the monthly operating cost by 20 to 25%. And we've also been able to lower the cost to get into the business by about the same amount. So that's evolution of a brand. And I just had this discussion with a franchisee this morning. Look, the good brands, they're always evolving. If you're standing still, if you think you've got the answer and the same answer is going to be there 5 years from now, you're already dead and you don't know it. You got to constantly be aware of what the consumer's expectations are and continue to be relevant in the marketplace. That's the job of an entrepreneur.
Peter Taunton, I really do appreciate you carving out time for us. And for anybody out there that's looking to buy a franchise, I encourage you to check out nauticalbowls.com. That's nauticalbowls.com. Again, it's organic, it's gluten-free, it's dairy-free, it's all natural, it's soy-free, and it's a healthy, on-trend meal replacement. Nautical Bowls, perhaps you've seen acai bowls, perhaps you haven't. I encourage you to go to nauticalbowls.com to learn more. With the franchise concept that Peter's developed, when you buy a Nautical Bowls franchise, it's a turnkey operation, and also it requires very few employees to run the business. So again, folks, it couldn't be a better option for you. That's nauticalbowls.com. Peter Taunton, thank you for your time, sir, and I can't wait to harass you next week, sir.
I'm looking forward to it. Take care, brother. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. JT, do you know what time it is?
4:10.
It's Tebow time in Tulsa, Jerusalem, baby. Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma, June 27th and 28th. We've been doing business conferences here since 2005. I've been hosting business conferences since 2005. What year were you born?
1995.
Dude, I've been hosting business conferences since you were 10 years old, but I've never had the 2-time Heisman Award winning Tim Tebow come present. And a lot of people, have followed Tim Tebow's football career on the field and off the field. And off the field, the guy's been just as successful as he has been on the field. Now, the big question is, JT, how does he do it?
Well, they're going to have to come and find out because I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, Tim Tebow's going to teach us how he organizes his day, how he organizes his life, how he's proactive with his faith, his family, his finances. He's going to walk us through his mindset that he brings into the gym, into business. It is going to be a blasty blast in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Also, this is the first Thrive Time Show event that we've had where we're going to have a man who has built a $100 million net worth.
Wow.
Who'll be presenting. Now, we've had a couple presenters that have had $1 billion net worth in some like real estate sort of things.
Yeah.
But this is the first time we've had a guy who's built a service business, and he's built over $100 million net worth in the service business. It's the yacht driving, multi-state living guru of franchising. Peter Taunton will be in the house. This is the founder of Snap Fitness, the guy behind 9 Round Boxing. He's going to be here in Tulsa, Jerusalem, Oklahoma, June 27th and 28th. JT, why should everybody want to hear what Peter Taunton has to say?
Oh, because he's incredible. He's just a fountain of knowledge. He is awesome. He is inspired me listening to him talk. And not only that, he also has, he practices what he teaches. So he's a real teacher. He's not a fake teacher like business school teachers. So you got to come learn from him.
Also, let me tell you this, folks. I don't want to get this wrong, because if I get it wrong, someone's going to say, you screwed that up, buddy. So Michael Levine, this is Michael Levine. He's going to be coming. You say, who's Michael Levine? I don't want to get this wrong. This is the PR consultant of choice for Michael Jackson, for Prince, for Nike, for Charlton Heston, for Nancy Kerrigan, 34 Grammy Award winners, 43 New York Times best-selling authors he's represented, including pretty much everybody you know who's been a super celebrity. This is Michael Levine, a good friend of mine. He's going to come and talk to you about personal branding and the mindset needed to be super successful. The lineup will continue to grow. We have hit Christian recording artist Colton Dixon in the house. Now, people say, Colton Dixon's in the house? Yes, Colton Dixon's in the house. So if you like top 40 Christian music, Colton Dixon's going to be in the house performing. The lineup will continue to grow each and every day. We're going to add more and more speakers to this all-star lineup. But I encourage everybody out there today, get those tickets today. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. And some people might be saying, well, how do I do it? What do I do? How does it work? You just go to thrivetimeshow.com. Let's go there now. We're feeling the flow. We're going to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, you just go to thrivetimeshow.com. You click on the business conferences button, and you click on the request tickets button right there. The way I do our conferences is we tell people it's $250 to get a ticket.
Yep.
Or whatever price that you can afford. And the reason why I do that is I grew up without money. JT, you're in the process of building a super successful company. Did you start out with $1 million in the bank account?
No, I did not. Nope, did not get any loans, nothing like that. Did not get an inheritance from parents or anything like that. I had to work for it, and I'm super grateful. I came to a business conference. That's actually how I met you, met Peter Taunton. I met all these people.
So if you're out there today and you want to come to our workshop, again, you just got to go to thrivetimeshow.com. You might say, well, when's it going to be? June 27th and 28th. You might say, well, who's speaking? We already covered that. You might say, where's it going to be? It's going to be in Tulsa, Jerusalem, Oklahoma. And someone says, Tulsa, Jerusalem. I'm really trying to rebrand Tulsa as Tulsa, Jerusalem, sort of like the Jerusalem of America. But if you type in Thrive Time Show and Jinx, you can get a sneak peek or a look at our office facility. This is what it looks like. This is where you're headed. It's going to be a blasty blast. You can look inside, see the facility. We're going to have hundreds of entrepreneurs here. It is going to be packed. Now, for this particular event, folks, the seating is always limited because my facility isn't a limitless convention center. You're coming to my actual home office, and so it's going to be packed. So when? June 27th and 28th. Who? You're going to come. Who? You? I'm talking to you. You can just get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. And again, you can name your price. We tell people it's $250 or whatever price you can afford. And we do have some select VIP tickets, which gives you an access to meet some of the speakers and those sorts of things. And those tickets are $500. It's a 2-day interactive business workshop, over 20 hours of business training. We're going to give you a copy of my newest book, The Millionaire's Guide to Becoming Sustainably Rich. You're going to leave with a workbook. You're going to leave with everything you need to know to start and grow a super successful company. It's practical, it's actionable, and it's Tebow time right here in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Get those tickets today at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com.
Hello, I'm Michael Levine, and I'm talking to you right now from the center of Hollywood, California, where I have represented over the last 35 years 58 Academy Award winners, 34 Grammy Award winners, 43 New York Times bestsellers. I've represented a lot of major stars, and I've worked with a lot of major companies. And I think I've learned a few things about what makes them work and what makes them not work. Now, why would a man living in Hollywood, California, in the beautiful sunny weather of LA, come to Tulsa? Because last year I did it, and it was damn exciting. Clay Clark has put together an exceptional presentation, really life-changing, and I'm looking forward to seeing you then. I'm Michael Levine. I'll see you in Tulsa.
James, did I tell you my good friend John Lee Dumas is also joining us at the in-person 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show Business Workshop? That Tim Tebow and that Michael Levine will be at. Have I told you this?
You have not told me that.
Oh, he's coming all the way from Puerto Rico. This is John Lee Dumas, the host of the chart-topping EOFire.com podcast. He's absolutely a living legend. This guy started a podcast after wrapping up his service in the United States military, and he started recording this podcast daily in his home. to the point where he started interviewing big-time folks like Gary Vaynerchuk, like Tony Robbins, and he just kept interviewing bigger and bigger names, putting out shows day after day. And now he is the legendary host of the EO Fire podcast, and he's traveling all the way from Puerto Rico to Tulsa, Oklahoma to attend the in-person June 27th and 28th Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshop. If you're out there today, folks, you've ever wanted to grow a podcast, a broadcast, you want to improve your marketing, if you've ever wanted to improve your marketing, your branding, if you've ever wanted to increase your sales, you want to come to the 2-day interactive June 27th and 28th Thrive Time Show Business Workshop featuring Tim Tebow, Michael Levine, John Lee Dumas, and countless big-time, super successful entrepreneurs. It's going to be life-changing. Get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. James, what website is that?
thrivetimeshow.com.
James, one more time with more enthusiasm.
thrivetimeshow.com.
Shine, everything rides on tonight. Even if I got 3 strikes, I'ma go for it. This moment, we own it. I'm not to be played with because it could get dangerous. See these people I ride with. This moment, we own it.
Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the world's highest rated and most reviewed business workshops because we teach you what you need to know to grow.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
And now you may be thinking, what does it actually cost to attend an in-person 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show business workshop? Well, good news. The tickets are $250 or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, they're $250 or whatever price you can afford. I grew up without money, and I know what it's like to live without money. So if you're out there today and you want to attend our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop, all you got to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com to request those tickets. And if you can't afford $250, we have scholarship pricing available to make it affordable for you.
I learned at the Academy in Kings Point in New York. Acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
Whoa. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Radio Show. Today I'm broadcasting from Phoenix, Arizona, not Scottsdale, Arizona. They're close, but they're completely different worlds. And we have a special guest today. Definition of intelligence is if you agree with me, you're intelligent. And so this gentleman is very intelligent. I've done this show before also, but very seldom do you find somebody who lines up on all counts. and it's a Mr. Clay Clark. He's a friend of a good friend, Eric Trump. But we're also talking about money, bricks, and how screwed up the world can get in a few and a half hours. So Clay Clark is a very intelligent man, and there's so many ways we could take this thing. But I thought, since you and Eric are close, Trump, what were you saying about what Trump can't, what Donald, who's my age, and I can say or cannot say?
First of all, I have to honor you, sir. I want to show you what I did to one of your books here. There's a guy by the name of Jeremy Thorne, who was my boss at the time. I was 19 years old, working at Faith Highway. I had a job at Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV. And he said, "Have you read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad?" And I said, "No." And my father, may he rest in peace, he didn't know these financial principles. So I started reading all of your books and really devouring your books. And I went from being an employee to self-employed, to the business owner, to the investor. And I owe a lot of that to you. And I just wanted to take a moment to tell you, thank you so much for allowing me to achieve success. And then I'll tell you all about Eric Trump. But I just want to tell you, thank you, sir, for changing my life.
But not only that, Clay, thank you, but you become an influencer. More than anything else, you've evolved into an influencer where your word has more and more power. So that's why I congratulate you on becoming. Because as you know, there's a lot of fake influencers out there too, or bad influencers.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm glad you and I agree so much, and thanks for reading my books.
Yeah.
That's the greatest thrill for me today. Not a thrill, but recognition is when people, young men especially, come up and say, "I read your book, changed my life. I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this."
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
Whoa! Hey, I'm Ryan Wimpy. I'm originally from Tulsa, born and raised here. I went to a small private liberal arts college and got a degree in business. And I didn't learn anything like they're teaching here. I didn't learn linear workflows. I learned stuff that I am not using, and I haven't been using for the last 9 years. So what they're teaching here is actually way better than what I got at business school. And I went what was actually ranked as a very good business school. The linear workflow for us in getting everything out on paper and documented is really important. Like we have workflows that are kind of all over the place, so having linear workflow and seeing that mapped out on multiple different boards is pretty awesome. That's really helpful for me. The atmosphere here is awesome. I definitely just stared at the walls, figuring out how to make my facility look like this place. This place rocks. It's invigorating. The walls are super, it's just very cool. The atmosphere is cool. The people are nice. It's a pretty cool place to be. Very good learning atmosphere. I literally want to model it and steal everything that's here at this facility and basically create it just on our business side.
Once I saw what they were doing, I knew I had to get here at the conference. This is probably the best conference or seminar I've ever been to in over 30 years in business.
You're not bored. You're awake, alive the whole time. It's not pushy. They don't try to sell you a bunch of things.
I was looking to learn how to just get control of my life, my schedule, and just get control of the business.
Planning your time, breaking it all down, making time for the F6 in your life, and just really implementing it and sticking with the program.
It's really lively. They're pretty friendly, helpful, very welcoming.
I attended a conference a couple months back, and it was really the best business conference I've ever attended.
At the workshop, I learned a lot about time management, really prioritizing what's the most important.
Biggest takeaways are, you want to take a step-by-step approach to your business. Whether it's marketing, what are those 3 marketing tools that you want to use, to human resources.
Some of the most successful people and successful businesses in this town, their owners were here today because they wanted to know more from Clay, and I found that to be kind of fascinating.
The most valuable thing that I've learned is diligence, that businesses don't change overnight. It takes time and effort, and you got to go through the ups and downs of getting it to where you want to go.
He actually gives you the roadmap out. I was stuck, didn't know what to do, and he gave me the roadmap out step by step.
We've set up systems in the business that make my life much easier, allow me some time freedom.
Here you can ask any question you want. They guarantee it'll be answered.
This conference motivates me and also give me a lot of knowledge and tools.
It's up to you to do it. Everybody can
do these things. They're stuff that everybody knows, but if you don't do it, nobody else is going to do it for you.
I can see the marketing working, and it's just an approach that makes sense.
Probably the most notable thing is just the income increase that we've had.
Everyone's super fun, it's super motivating. I've been here before, but I'm back again because it motivates me.
Your competition's going to come eventually, or try to pick up these tactics. So you better, if you don't, somebody else will.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us.
This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live 2 years ago. This is our old neighborhood. See? It's nice, right?
So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood.
This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
So we really just want to thank you, Clay, and thank you, Vanessa, for everything you've done, everything you've helped us with. We love you guys.
If you decide to not attend the Thrive Time workshop, you're missing out on a great opportunity.
The atmosphere of Clay's office is very lively. You can feel the energy as soon as you walk through the door, and it really got me and my team very excited.
If you decide not to come, you're missing out on an opportunity to grow your business. Bottom line.
Love the environment. I love the way that Clay presents and teaches. It's a way that not only allows me to comprehend what's going on, but he explains it in a way to where it just makes sense.
The SEO optimization, branding, marketing. I've learned more in the last 2 days than I have the entire 4 years of college.
The most valuable thing that I've learned, marketing is key. Marketing is everything.
Making sure that you're branded accurately and clearly. How to grow a business using Google reviews, and then just how to optimize our name through our website also.
Helpful with a lot of marketing, search engine optimization, helping us really rank high in Google.
The biggest thing I needed to learn was how to build my foundation, how to systemize everything and optimize everything, build my SEO.
How to become more organized, more efficient.
How to make sure the business is really there to serve me as opposed to me constantly being there for the business.
New ways of advertising my business, as well as recruiting new employees.
Group interviews, number one. Before we felt like we were held hostage by our employees. Group interviews has completely eliminated that because you're able to really find the people that would really be the best fit.
Hands-on how to hire people, how to deal with human resources, a lot about marketing, and overall just how to structure the business, how it works for me, and also then how that can translate into working better for my clients.
The most valuable thing I've learned here is time management.
I like the 1 hour of doing your business is real critical if I'm going to grow and change.
Clay really teaches you how to navigate through those things and not only find freedom, but find your purpose in your business and find the purposes for all those other people that directly affect your business as well.
Everybody.
Everyone
Everyone needs to attend the conference because you get an opportunity to see that it's real.